Hello friends, it's Jonathan. Happy Monday and welcome to another day of the Drive Out, a little series I do on my drive home from my job as a painter. Today is day 10 and my topic for the day for you guys is the Immortal Ripple. Your actions are your legacy. And what I want to focus on here today is the fact that every action we take ripples throughout time. And it's not just something that affects us in the moment. And therefore, the actions and the choices you make and the actions you take based on those choices are incredibly impactful beyond the point where you might not even understand or realize that. Myself included, sometimes we don't think that far ahead and it can overwhelm us, the possibilities and the conclusions that are reached from the outcomes over time that are rippled throughout time. So today I thought we'd do something a little more interesting and dive deeper into that topic. I've kind of hinted at it a couple times over past episodes of this Drive Out series I'm doing, but today I thought we'd go full-blown in depth on it and see where things go. As usual, this is a free-form conversation that I do, so not all of my thoughts are going to be 100% coherent all the time because I am thinking on the fly and I'm also driving, so keeping that in mind, let's see where things go in the spirit of sincerity, as my channel is called, Jonathan's Sincere Life, and I intend to imbue everything I do with sincerity and love. I will pursue that as such. So, the Immortal Ripple, your actions are your legacy. Your choices today are history tomorrow. So my first point here is to stop being just you. Start acting as a historical figure. Maybe when you were in school, we'd read all these history books, right? And we'd see all these different historical figures, like different presidents and different ministers and different countries and their wars and their different things, right? The individuals in all those stories were people just like you and I. And when you really think about it that way, it kind of gives you a perspective on what life can look like from a top-down or a bird's eye view. And it's not, it makes you look at things a little less in your own head sometimes. I find that easier to do when I'm thinking of myself as somebody who's part of history in the making, right? The present moment is always now, but as soon as this becomes the past, that is also known as history, right? Because it's not now and it's not the future. So you want to, I think knowing that and taking that seriously kind of imbues each moment with a little bit more of a meaningful aspect, and it makes it a little more precious. And it adds to the fact that your legacy is not just the things that people talk about, like the accomplishments you do or the job you do or whatever, the career you have or your children, right? Those things are all included, of course, but there's more to it than just that. And I think this is where you can kind of look at yourself more than just a simple human living a simple life. You can kind of decide that you want to be like a meaningfully historical figure, like somebody who's larger than life, somebody who, even if it's just in your own mind, like the movie you play of yourself, right? Because we're all the star of our own show. Even if it's just in your own head, the views we take of ourselves impact our decisions as we go through life, right? Because everything's based on our values and what we focus on. So yeah, I think that's a big impact on people. Now, something to consider: people of the past could not record themselves with technology. Now we can, right? We have phones, we have smartphones, we have computers, we have cameras everywhere essentially. Like the government's bringing out cameras everywhere. There's stores have cameras. Everything all the time, 24/7 is being recorded. And especially with the advent of AI, there is even more of a demand for everything to be recorded and captured because it's data to be used in that system. So I think it's even more important that our choices and the actions we take are in alignment with our innermost values, and they're not just willy-nilly on a whim. I think it's important to make sure your choices you make are meaningful, because everything you do has an impact that ripples over time. So yeah, there will be a sincere record of your existence. So take that fact seriously. Think of that, like everything you do is meaningful and impactful, and it won't just impact you, and you may not even know how it'll impact the future, but at least if you approach every day with a sincere outlook aligned with your values and your highest aims, at least then you know, and you can sleep and rest easy knowing that you're in alignment with your own inner self, and you're whole and you're complete in that sense. Obviously, we can't control every outcome. Well, actually, we can't control almost any outcome. We can do our best to control whatever we're doing in the moment right in front of us, but even then, even that can be elusive at times. So I want to mention the weight of today, right now. It's important to focus on lasting value and not so much temporary pleasure, right? So I'll give you an example of what I mean here by the ripple over time. a common example, especially nowadays, and if there's kids watching, don't watch, but say pornography, for example, right? If you're somebody who enjoys pornography, if you watch it enough, it will desensitize you to the real experience, right? And that is very much an example of the actions you take day to day can have a lasting impact that ripple over time. And then say you get so addicted to pornography that you have troubles relating to somebody in person physically. And you say you're a guy, right? You can't get an erection, or you're a woman and it just doesn't interest you. That's a real thing. And from what I've heard from some of my friends who are in the medical field, this is becoming a more common issue, particularly among young men, or I think it's men 25 to like 45, something like that, which was unheard of before. So I think this is something worth considering, right? And this is just one example of how what you do today, the actions you take today, ripple across time, and they impact not just you, but people around you who are linked to you by the actions that you both take and the interactions you share. So if that is you, for example, I don't know if it is, but I don't know how common it is, but say that is you, you've dealt with that before. If you've tried to be with a partner when that's happened, that will negatively impact the outcome, and that can affect the partner's feelings of self-esteem and their feelings of like, am I good enough? Is it me that's the problem? Like, there's things that you're doing that are negatively impacting you and people around you without your knowing it. Because in the moment, you would think the act of having an orgasm is the most pleasurable experience you can have, and of course it is, and it's meant to be. That's the way it was intended. But when you indulge in the visual stimulus like that, it desensitizes you to the real world, and that's one example. So I'll leave it at that, and you can exacerbate that to other areas of life in similar negative ways. Scrolling through TikTok, it kind of melts your brain's dopamine receptors, so you can't really like enjoy just being kind of bored in day-to-day life, which is actually important, because that when you're bored, it's when you're able to actually think, right? Nowadays, we don't turn off our devices. We're always connected constantly. So, soon we're going to have like VR, like regular day-to-day like glasses you can wear. I mean, they already exist, but they're going to become like even more integral into our day-to-day lives. So it's just something worth considering. Like, we're becoming more and more connected, and part of that is going to be some negatives as well, because we're going to lose touch with, well, reality, essentially, right? We're going to have augmented reality, which definitionally would mean that like reality itself is not good enough. It won't be good enough. It's kind of boring or mundane, which in fact it is supposed to. Like, I don't know about you, but I've done this intentionally. I've made this a practice where I will unplug from technology for like days and sometimes weeks at a time, just to feel grounded in reality. And it can be really tough and especially really boring at times. But when I do it, it's like, I just feel so much more like, I don't know, life can be so simple and so beautiful without the extra layers that are nice to have. Don't get me wrong, they're nice to have, but they're not necessary to have a complete and full and meaningful and intentionally driven life, as is obvious by the fact that people have not had this for ever, basically, until the last like 100 years or whatever it's, right? Not even that. The last, with cell phones, it's only been what, like 30 years ish? Not even that, like 20, something like that. Anyway, the last 15 to 30 years, we basically had stuff. And don't get me wrong, it's amazing, but there are drawbacks, and that's kind of the point I'm making here. So yeah, the weight of today, or now. So focus on lasting value, not temporary pleasure. And I want to discuss the ripple rule. So the compounding effect. So all your small actions, whether they're good or bad, ripple externally outside of you. They're not just within you. And of course, it's going to be obvious when it externally affects somebody if they're right next to you, because you're going to see their expression, their reaction that they're doing. But sometimes we don't see it inherently. An example I was thinking about earlier is like, say your dog like pees on your new carpet, right? And you're pissed off and you give him a whack. But what if suddenly the dog gets aggressive and like bites your newborn baby or something? And suddenly you've created like problems that you couldn't have foreseen, but that were avoidable had you acted with a more calm and collected and rational mind. So again, it comes back to this idea of like, if you're going to be the hero of your own story, you need to make sure you're doing your best to like be present, like be aware that things can go wrong at times, and to be stalwart when they do, and to not react so aggressively when bad times come, right? Because you can't avoid the ups and downs of life, but what you can do is control how you respond to them. And that is one thing one big topic that I plan to discuss on this channel in the future is like self-control, and that also ties into my previous topics of self-respect. I'm making a video on that pretty soon here, self-respect. But yeah, so all your small actions, good or bad, ripple externally. They're not just going to affect you. So the aim here, so since you can't control the end, aim for the highest moral quality right now, because at least then you're in alignment with your highest self, and the odds of things going awry, assuming no external variables that you can't control, which are going to happen obviously, but at least at that point you're doing the best that you could, right? And if you keep responding to life when it brings you those ups and downs, and you keep responding to life with true sincerity and your highest moral virtues and with quality, at least you have that meaningful essence there. Like, hey, I did the very best I could despite the circumstances, and even though maybe the outcome I wanted wasn't the one that came to be, at least I was sincere in my endeavor. At least I was sincere in my effort, and there was true love and sincerity there behind it. You know, I would say at that point you're not, you know, maybe there was something you did anyway, but you're not like guilt free or whatever, depending on the situation, but sleep better at night, right? Just knowing that you did everything you could to make things work out for the best. You know, I've talked before about sometimes you want to do things, like I think the most sincere and meaningful life is the one where you take on responsibilities to the point of excess, like to the point where you can just barely handle it, like bear as much as you can, like on your own shoulders. Because everything you take responsibility for, you basically have not control over, but you can at least take action on it. You can at least take a stance on it and make some small positive difference, if not a large positive, right? So it's incumbent upon us as sincere individuals who are striving to be better, to make the most of each moment and to rise above our underlying baser programming and become just that, becoming heroic and larger than life, and doing the things that are unreasonable when any other person would not push through. When any other person would give up and say, this is bullshit, this is unreasonable, like I can't handle this. You know, there's this line I like. It's I don't know where this quote came from, where a man paraphrased, "You're stronger than you think," and life won't throw anything at you that you can't handle. And most importantly, if you're not dead, that means you can handle it. Everything you've dealt with in your whole life, if you're alive still, that means you were able to handle it successfully. And that in itself is evidence that you can, in fact, handle what life throws at you. And this goes back to what I was saying in the previous episode, about like teaching yourself to be confident by going through the hard stuff, and then your mind will actually learn, like, hey, I can deal with this. Like, you're training yourself to like deal with harder and harder shit, and then when bad things happen in life, you're basically immune to it, because it doesn't like shake you and rock you out of place, unless it's something really like out there, right? Like your spouse dies or something. I'm talking about like anything else pretty well, like you'll be there to handle it, and you'll be able to handle it with grace and with sincerity and with high spirits, because you know that this is what life's about. This is going to happen, and you're stronger than you think. You can handle a lot of shit. Like, you gotta believe it, and then put yourself through stuff, and then when you come out at the other end, if you're still alive and you're intact, then it's evidence to yourself that you could do it. Yeah, it's a good feeling. It's a good feeling. I got another example of like a positive, or I have an example of a positive ripple for you, which would be like, maybe you've heard this before, like it's pretty cliche or whatever, but like planting a tree, right? You don't plant it necessarily for you because it takes like a long time to grow, but you plant it for like your offspring or like your grandkids or whatever, right? Like, hey, like, Dad, where did that tree come from? It's like, oh, your great grandfather planted that 100 and whatever years ago. Like, I mean, it's up to you if you give a shit about that or you care about that, but just the idea that like it's such a concrete example of the ripple effect, right? Like, you plant a tree, that's an action you take today that in 100 years will still bear fruit, like quite literally, right? It's kind of a cool concept. Excuse me. And then my negative example for you, or a negative ripple, would be like gossiping about people behind their back. Like, there's no good in gossip. There's just not, right? Talking about somebody poorly behind their back is not doing you any favors. It's not doing anyone else any favors. Like, it makes you look bad. If the person catches wind of it, it makes them feel shitty and resentful and angry, most likely, and bitter about whatever's going on. And you're damaging someone's reputation. And just like I've said before, like, no one has the complete story of your life, so any opinion they have of you is not going to be properly pinned down on you. Because how could it be if they don't don't know the ins and outs of your life, right? So therefore, if you decide to gossip, you're doing the exact same thing. You have an opinion about somebody, negative when it's gossip most likely, and you don't have the full picture because you never will. How could you, right? You don't live that person's life. You're not in their shoes. And for you to go out of your way and talk poorly about them behind their back, you are undermining the very one of the very roots of being a sincere being. You're undermining yourself, really, because it makes you feel good for a moment to just let off the steam or whatever you're trying to do with this gossip doing. And it's not benefiting you. It's not benefiting the people you're telling it to. It's really not benefiting the person that's being spoken of. And yeah, it's just not good all around. It's a morally corrupt thing to do. It's a morally inept thing to do. Maybe that's the word. Yeah, it does you no favors. So those are my examples of positive and negative. Positive being planting a tree, generations from now will benefit from its fruit or whatever, its shade. And the negative was like gossiping of people. Gossiping does not help anybody, and it affects the long term, right? Say you gossip about somebody at work and you don't know their life, obviously, because how could you, right? You don't know everything about them. Say they're having a rough time in life. Say like you don't even know what the situation is. Maybe they have cancer or whatever. Maybe they're on the brink of suicide, and something you say gives them that little trigger, and they go kill themselves or they end their life. How it's just such a poor idea. Like it's moral. That's the way. It's morally bankrupt. There's nothing good in gossip. No matter how mundane you think it is or how innocent you think it is, there is nothing to be gained. Don't do it, for real. Like it is the opposite of integrity. It is so disingenuous and gross and base, and like it's just such a negative. Like, for the sake of everybody that you can come across in life, please don't gossip. Like, it's just not worth it. And don't get me wrong, I'm not some morally high being who's like figured it all out all the time. I'm just like you, right? I'm trying to figure my own life out all the time, as I say on this channel. And of course I've gossiped before, of course, but I've made that I made it so unlikely and so uncommon for myself now, because I just don't associate people who do that. It's very unlikely it's going to happen, and I have that reminder in my head now, like, hey, this is not benefiting anybody. Stopping it. So I really don't do it anymore. I try to avoid it as much as possible. I don't even try to listen to or entertain it when someone else is talking about people. It does no one any favors. Anyway, let's continue. So my next little thing here is character currency. So your inner character, like your integrity, right? So your character is the asset you compound daily. It is your internal legacy. So you can think of your character like I made a metaphor of this before. Like, we start off as blocks of marble, and the goal in life is to become sculpted into beautiful sculptures by life itself, right? Who is the sculptor. So another way to look at that is your character is the block of marble. Your character is the asset that you compound daily. In this case, like an asset could be like money in the investment vehicle, right? It's compounding daily. It's growing over time. And that is your internal legacy. That is your own story that you get to write throughout your life. The character that you build, the integrity that you build, you let go of stuff that's not good about you, and you keep just the good. Over time, as you do that, you're exponentially becoming more and more integrated. And as you do that, you become a whole unique being that is, as I always say, sincere and dedicated to the good and mission driven to do positive things in the world, not for personal gain, but for the benefit of all. The highest aim, right? For the benefit of all over time. And that's the thing I'm adding today. It's for the benefit of all over time. Things you do ripple throughout time. They're not just in the moment. I mean, they're not just in the next week or month. They could be in the next 100 years. They could be in the next 500. You don't know how things are going to play out. No one does. The best we can do is align ourselves with our highest values and to embody them and integrate them and become truly integrated and sincere beings. But you have to decide that you're worthy of that mission. You have to decide that life is worth the effort. And I think it can be easy to fall in the trap of thinking life is not worth it if we're not carrying enough of a responsibility or enough of a load on our back to feel like there's something that we're doing that makes an impact, right? Because sometimes you forget, like, things you say, like in the grocery store, you don't think they're impacting you, but maybe they're changing someone's life. Maybe you give a compliment to somebody at the store. You're like, oh, I love your shirt, right? Maybe that makes that person's day. They go home, they make their spouse like a nice meal, and their spouse like loves them, and like maybe they have a child because of that, right? It's just like a wild example. Like you don't know just how much of an impact the things you say and do have, and it's not just for the moment. Over time, you don't know how much time. It's pretty much over infinite time. If you give it enough time, it's pretty much over infinite time. And it's both like if you're not in the right mindset to like handle life in a meaningful way like that, and you're not aiming up, that can be like kind of a scary thought. Maybe you just don't give a shit, right? Like maybe you're just like, oh, I don't care about life. I don't give a shit about this. To be fair, I've been there. I was there for quite a while there, a couple of years. You got to decide that life is meaningful, that life's worth it. Like, there's it's hard to find that meaning sometimes if you're just starting. I think if you don't know what you're doing, just do something small that you can handle. Like this is the only advice I can think of. Is like do something small that you can handle, even if you think it's pathetic or whatever. Just start with yourself and in your wherever you live, right? Just do something simple in your own home, like do the laundry. Like if you haven't done the laundry in a while and your clothes are hanging everywhere, go do the laundry. Or like maybe you're a little unkempt, right? Maybe you need to go take a shower and shave. And I know sometimes people don't, like, especially guys, we don't shave unless it's for like an occasion or a reason. If we're just like single or a bachelor, maybe you should show up for yourself. Maybe you should show up for you. Maybe shaving and taking care of yourself is more than just for everyone else. Maybe it starts with you. Maybe you're the first person who has to see who you can be, and then the world will get to see that magnificence come forth and spring forth from you. Maybe you're the intended audience in this moment. Maybe you're the audience that gets to witness the magnificent unfolding that is your life. If you don't have anyone around, maybe you just have a cat or a dog. Maybe they're the audience, right? Maybe they get to benefit pleasure of being around somebody so serious about taking their life seriously and aiming in a positive direction. If you're not there yet, or you're not thinking about trying to do that, well, I mean, I can't really say anything, but I don't think I can say anything else that would really convince you. Like the usual thing I say is like, hey, don't forget, we're all going to die one day, right? You don't know when. You only get so many minutes. Your focus is your currency. You only get so much time to focus on different things in life. Why would you not put your focus on the things that will have the largest impact for the world? Why would you not want to just do better? If you're going to die anyway, and we're all going to suffer in life kind of sucks in that sense, right? Life's kind of a tragedy. Why would you not want to alleviate as much suffering as you could with your actions and your words while you're able? Like there's nothing in life, to me, it seems, that is more worth your time than that. I used to be very much a person who was like, well, I want to get this and I want to get this and I want to have all this money and I want to have all this status, right? Whatever. And it was more about ego. It was about showing off. It was about whatever, just saying I made it, right? But I was also young and naive and like rather foolish, no doubt. There's, you only need so much money. You can always get more money. You can't get more time, right? Sometimes you have to get what you think you want just to realize that it wasn't what you needed. And that's okay. Like if that's who you are and that's where you're at, that's where I was and who I was and where I was at. And I got some of the things I wanted, and I realized like, no, this is not actually what I wanted. This is not providing me with the meaning and the fulfillment and the life that I want. Like it's not what life's about, some of this stuff. And if you have to go through that, so be it. I'll be it. All for it. Like, do what you got to do. My goal here is not to like tell you why you're wrong and whatever. Like I can only speak from my experience. I don't think anyone has, like, maybe some people have so much experience they have the right to be on a pedestal, but like to me it's like, share what you know. If it resonates with somebody, they might adopt some of the things you're saying, and to me that's good enough. Like maybe it's one small part of what I'm saying that resonates with you, and that's good enough. Better than nothing, right? At least I help somebody in some way. My whole goal here is to be meaningful and sincere. That's why I called it Jonathan's Sincere Life. I want to maximize meaning and the sincerity and the integrity, that surrounds me and is who I am, for no other reason than I think it benefits everybody and it makes the world a better place. And I'm just a visitor here, just like anyone else. I don't get to live here forever. So for the time I'm given, I want to spread as much love and just love and sincerity. I want to spread that. So if you're watching this, I hope some of my message does that for you, and I hope you feel the love. So and yeah, I guess we'll continue with what I got here. So, your character is the asset you compound daily. It is your internal legacy. So the actions you take and the integrity you strive toward, and the more integrated you get, the more your character forms up, and the more you're sculpted into that beautiful sculpture. That is your legacy. The world will benefit from witnessing the magnificence that is you, and the action and the actions you take and the words you use. All of it, and you're interlinked to every other person, and it's such a beautiful concept, beautiful and thoughtful way to look at life. We're here for but a short time, and it is incumbent upon us to treat life the beautiful thing that it is, and the precious thing that it is. Precious because it is limited. So integrity is your word is a sacred investment to your future self. So when you keep your word to yourself, that is integrity. When you tell yourself you're going to do something, that is integrity. And I've got a question for you as well. I wrote down here. So when faced with a choice, ask, how would the historical me have handled this? So if you find yourself in a situation and you have to make a choice about whatever it is in front of you, if you think about this conversation I'm having with you right now, for whatever reason, I don't know if you will, but say you do, when you're faced with a choice, ask yourself, how would the historical me, like the me that's like bird's eye view, like 100 years ago, or say it's now, but like in the present, but like say it's 100 years in the future, and you're looking back, how would the historical me have handled this? How would I want to be remembered for having handled this? That's the question, right? How would I want to look back on my life and see this moment? How would I want this moment to unfold if things were going in the optimal direction for me and everybody around me? What choice would I make? That's the question being asked. So if you find yourself in a situation and this question comes to mind, maybe give it some thought, right? But yeah, so let's wrap up. Today's topic was the immortal ripple. Your actions are your legacy. Things you do today ripple across time in ways you can't foresee, and therefore it is incumbent upon you, upon each of us, to take every action and every word we say as sacred and precious, and it should be treated as we should treat it as though we're the stewards of everything we do, and we should do that with sincerity and love and compassion, and with a high aim for the most integrated version of ourselves across time that will benefit everybody, our friends, our spouses, our family, our neighbors, pets, everything. Therefore the world, right? Let the love pour out, friends. Let the love pour out. There's nothing more meaningful in life. Just pour out love. Let it come free. My name is Jonathan. Once again, this is my sincere life. I want to thank you for taking the time, and I hope to see you in the next video. If you like this, give it a like, leave a comment if you want to comment, if you have anything to say or add, or any ideas, and subscribe if you'd like to see more, if you'd like to join me on my journey. So with that, I will wrap up, and I want to say thank you again for watching, and may you be well.